Welcome back. Today we're gonna swap our distributor rod because if you can see that there's quite a bit of play in all directions. There's a bushing in here and that's one. So what you need to do is set the turn the engine around to get it roughly on cylinder 1 TDC, which is here. That's the firing point, so TDC is about here. That should be right. And then when you take it out, it turns, I think, to 1 o'clock ish, about here, because the gear is actually not a straight cut. The thing is, this movements make the rotor arm touch the cap inside here, so you may see some marks, which we do, and it also gives you just a very imprecise timing because everything wobbles around. So we bought a new one, but we're gonna repair this old one because I think the new one is from China. I don't know, it was from a cheap parts supplier, but it looks like a knockoff of this one here. So it's a pattern, but I don't trust it. It came with a new cap and a new rotor and a new sensor, and I think it was £100 something, $130 something. Yeah, take the screw out down here, make sure you clean the surroundings a little bit, take the sensor off, and when you install the new one, put the rotor on with no sensor, and I think there is a pinhole. We'll check it. We'll take it out in a minute and have a look. So here we can see it. Hopefully we can see it. This hole, this little hole here, has to line up with that notch in the case, and then you can put a pin through. So we need to turn a little bit further, because on this one you can see it actually. Punch the pin from the bottom, and if you look inside, it's full of gunk here, and it wobbles around quite a bit. So you can turn it a little bit further, and then we should be good to go. And then just watch, put the rotor arm back, and then just watch in which position it comes out. Pretty easy. All you need to make sure it's properly aligned, because it's actually the cam sensor. So this little metal shield here, you can see it better on the new one, this little metal shield here, that basically tells you where the cam is, and if you're on the first or second turn of the 720 degrees. So to turn it, just use the socket. There you go. Always turn it clockwise, never turn it back, because you get some play in the cam chain. So now the holes line up perfectly. If you put the rotor back, we can see where we are. It should be about here. Yeah, that's right where the thing begins here. Right where this corner is the edge of the rotor, well, sort of, because everything wobbles around. So let me clean the shit a little bit and get that thing out. So it might be a bit dark. You may need to wedge it a little bit to get it loose, but then to get it out, you have to turn it around. Cable is in the way. To about this position. See that? And here we have it. Full of shit. And this end here drives the oil pump. So let's clean everything and put the new one back on. Position itself is easy, because this thing, let me get out of the way here. Position itself is easy because this will fit the bolt hole here. And it's not super critical because the timing is not done by the distributor. The timing is actually done by the crank sensor. This is only for cam position, so the engine knows where the cam is, and obviously then knows when to fire which cylinder. And obviously it has to be in the right ballpark, otherwise the distributor is not lined up with the cylinder and it doesn't fire really. So we're gonna stick something into that hole, and then we clean the shit around it. And once we fitted the other one, we're gonna have a close look at this one and try to repair it, because the gear itself looks not too bad. It has some wear. We need to inspect that closer. But yeah, it's pretty simple actually. Originally there is a gasket. I would recommend using O-ring because it stops seeping oil out. It doesn't really matter. The O-ring will seal out much better, so we use an O-ring. I don't know if the new one comes with a seal or not. I have no idea. Doesn't look like. No O-ring on it. Okay. Let me plug the hole and clean the stuff a little bit because it's hard to get there if the distributor is back in, and we'll come back. So we greased everything up. Make sure there's enough grease on it, because otherwise it will run dry for the first few revolutions, because it's make sure you don't throw any shit in there, because that directly ends up in your oil pan. So everything is greased up, including the shaft. We found an O-ring and now we just put it in. It probably takes a few attempts to get it right, but the cable is in the way. That's about right. That's where they are. So it's fully in, and you can see the pin is here. Hopefully it's visible. The pin is here, and we are about in the right position, because otherwise it would be miles off here. So, and yeah, we're good. So, and as you see, there is a lock. If you pull that down, it's not going to go anywhere. So once you're done, pull the pin, tighten everything up, and we're good to go. So once you're finished, make sure everything is moving nice and tight with no binding, otherwise you're not on the right spot here. We're slightly off at the moment, so we're gonna open the... There is a little bit of adjustment in the slot. We need to get a little bit more clockwise, because at the moment the pin doesn't line up. The pinhole. There's a lot of play in the pinhole with the plastic pin, so if you move it to the far right, and there is also play in the gear obviously, so read to the far right. The only way to determine if it's really correct is using our oscilloscope and check the timing between the crank and the cam sensor. If you got a slack in the cam chain, there could be a possibility that your timing is out as well, and I think we have. I can hear some clicking in the front here, and the cam chain is underneath here. It's got 190,000 miles. The possibility that the cam chain has slack is quite high. Alright, so we decided to use the old sensor because it's working, and I heard a lot of bad things about these Chinese cam sensors, so we keep that as a spare. Hopefully it fits. It does fit. because the sensor was always good, so there's no point of changing that. But I'd carry it as a spare, and just in case something fails. So, alright, let's put the cap back on, a new cap, because considering that it comes with a new cap, the price was actually quite good. So there's nothing wrong with that thing so far. Bloody cable is in the way again here. Come on, get up. I need 2 hands for that. Okay, alignment is pretty easy because cylinder 1 is marked, which is here, and the others just look where the cables go. And the firing order is 153624, which is pretty much the same on all 6 cylinders. I replaced this one recently. 156. 3 should have been this one. 2. That's 4. Gotta be somewhere. That's 2. Or it's 4. 4 is here. And 1 is here. And then obviously it doesn't look very nice here. It doesn't feel very nice either. Probably need to replace that at some point. And then obviously don't forget your coil wire. Okay, it snaps nicely. So it should fire up technically. We'll see what happens. And when you do that, when you work on your distributor, always, really always, check the oil pressure. Make sure there is oil pressure, because if there is no oil pressure, something with your pump drive is wrong, because the pump is driven by the distributor. Something isn't right. You may have screwed some wires. Check it again. If you put the wires in the wrong place, I was telling the right firing order 153624, but I plugged it 156324. That doesn't work. Let's try it again. There's always a difference between talking and doing. That sounds much better. I know my exhaust manifold is actually having some funny noises, but we have oil pressure. That's good. Okay. Let it get warm a little bit. And I ordered the manifold. The new manifold has cracked down here. I ordered a new one. It should be here soon. It's just a piece of crap. This time I ordered I think it's completely broken. This time I ordered a mild steel one rather than a stainless one. Hopefully this doesn't crack that fast anymore, because this is only about, let's say, half a year old. Well, maybe 3/4 of a year. Yeah, about 3/4 of a year. And I did it a couple of months before the house move. Well, we had some quite high stress on it, but because pulling a trailer is not really. That should technically improve our idle. Hear that rattling? That knocking noise? Not the exhaust, that tock tock tock. That's very likely the cut chain having too much slack. Or it's piston slump, I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, we'll let it warm up a little bit and see the test drive and see how it runs. So all done. Runs nice. We did a couple of 100 miles and everything seems to be smooth. I don't know if it's better or not. I can't tell. There is not a big difference really. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Until next time.